Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Collision Repair Mag's Industry Insider. I'm your host, Allison Rogers. Today, we're here with Paul Reichert, Senior Director of Sales, MSO, and Insurance Services at LKQ Corporation Canada. First off, thank you so much for joining us today, Paul. We really appreciate you being here and giving us a little LKQ update. So let's just dive right into things. Obviously, it's been a whirlwind 18 months or so for the automotive aftermarket and really the whole world. So what has LKQ been focused on in this time?
Thanks, Allison. First of all, I want to thank Collision Repair Magazine for providing me the opportunity to be here with you today, as well as we have a great deal of LKQ and industry news to share. Of course, much of what I will discuss with you today is in the context of this very unpredictable, always changing, COVID-impacted world we've all been living in the last 18 months and counting. You know, it's interesting when you pause for a moment and think about LKQ and how we've grown as a company since our inception 20 plus years ago. We started out in salvage and over the years have expanded to aftermarket, calibration, and diagnostic services like Elite Tech Diagnostics, paint, distribution, glass, and the list goes on. Not to mention our global expansion, where roughly half of our revenue in North America and the other half is in Europe. While LKQ has been growing organically, we have also made over 300 acquisitions to expand our product and servicing offering to our customers. Today, we operate in 1,500 locations in 31 countries. We are the world's leader in alternative collision repair parts and services. Equally important to us is our belief in creating a more sustainable future. Did you know that LKQ is the largest recycler of vehicles in the world? Between 90 and 95% of all materials on average of the end-of-life vehicles we procure and process are recycled in some manner, saving caustic materials and fluids from otherwise ending up in a landfill. Those materials are then able to be turned into other products and even new cars. We are happy to be contributors of a circular economy in this regard and strive towards always looking for new ways to do even more in recycling and recovery of materials to help our planet.
So yeah, I actually didn't know that LKQ is the largest recycler of vehicles in the world. Clearly, the company has been growing throughout the pandemic, like you said, organically and globally. So with that, Paul, what does LKQ do differently than other aftermarket parts suppliers in the industry?
Good question. As you know, LKQ distributes aftermarket parts primarily under the Keystone and Keystone Platinum Plus brand names. Our Keystone business has had a dedicated quality assurance team specifically to work with our supply chain to continuously improve part quality for 20 plus years. This QA team has made numerous improvements in part quality by communicating real concerns from our customers to factories and are audited by the LKQ Keystone QA team on a regular basis. They work behind the scenes to improve all aspects of production and distribution of collision parts segment. Our internal testing facility has the ability to conduct material tests, performance testing, part comparisons, as well as reviewing and performing tests on new and reconditioned wheels to SAE standards at our ISO 17025 laboratory state in Indiana, USA. LKQ also fully supports the CAPA certification process by participating on both the CAPA board and technical committee, which provides industry expertise, reviews standards, and approves product certification launches. It is important to understand that the consultation and direction that the QA team offers to the factories trickles down to other distributors of the aftermarket collision parts. The QA direction to factories has always been to make all parts consistent and at a high level of quality for the entire industry. And we have our promise of protection, providing unparalleled product indemnification. Many of our improved processes, such as indemnification, barcoding, traceability, packaging improvements, shipping practices, these are all improvements that all installers unknowingly receive. It's the LKQ difference.
So clearly an incredible amount of programs there to benefit the industries, but what's the Keystone Quality Parts Program about? I'm mainly interested in that one.
Keys IQ, which is an acronym for Keystone Insurance Quality, with a vision to provide both our body shop customers and insurance providers with the highest and most consistent quality collision part in the industry. It's our proprietary offering. We offer body shops the widest selection of parts backed by a limited lifetime warranty, along with our promise of protection and promise of calibration. You can inquire with your local rep. You can also see our website, which has all this information and can be easily found at www.lkqcorp.com. Our goal is to provide the body shops and installers a high quality part that is comparable to an OE service part in form, fit, function. We believe we achieve this on a daily basis and continue to make strides forward to make the acquisition process as seamless as possible. On the insurer side, LKQ provides various forms of data to all major estimating programs with a high degree of accuracy and ease of tagging parts for body shop review and repair. LKQ continues to dedicate many man hours with estimating providers to work and make the part identification process accurate with as few steps as possible. We feel as though the insurer appreciates the ability to write parts that not only carry out a lifetime warranty, in most cases better than OE, but also provides traceability if a quality issue warrants a recall process. At LKQ, we've been very proud of the Keys IQ parts program. Participation by factories and most importantly, our body shop installers and insurance providers. At the end of the day, I would say the Keys IQ program offers high quality parts, strong availability, order fill, traceability, lifetime warranty, indemnification, and a distribution center and system that services the right part the first time.
Interesting. Sounds like a very comprehensive program. And what about recycled parts? Can you give us a high-level overview of LKQ and recycled parts?
With the global supply chain being upside down due to the pandemic, at LKQ, we believe our core business has always been providing high-quality recycled, like-kind quality parts to the repair industry. This gives us an opportunity to provide the automotive repair markets, collision and mechanical, by supplying them with parts they need to get those cars back on the road safely and in a shorter turnaround time. Our inventory and distribution is second to none. We are extremely environmentally responsible. No one recycles more vehicles. In Canada, that number is close to 30,000 and over 800,000 in North America. This year, LKQ also published our inaugural sustainability report in April for our 2020 operating year, which contains a lot of data and statistics on our environmental stewardship, including the vehicles and materials recycled. For example, LKQ recovered nearly 4 million gallons of fuel from these end-of-life vehicles and over 2.3 million gallons of waste oil. Additionally, over 2.3 million tires were recovered and recycled. And additionally, again, we focused in driving the highest standards of operating excellence and quality control, which is part of the focus of our environmental, social, governance, or ESG program. We will also be doing even more on the ESG front in the coming years, as we recently hired a full-time director of global ESG strategy and initiatives this May.
Amazing. So environmental sustainability is obviously a huge topic right now. But speaking to vehicle technology, I've heard that LKQ has a services division in the United States. Could you tell our listeners a little bit more about the services division down there?
Elite Tech Vehicle Services is a division that I'm really passionate about. Elite Tech's our service is organization that has both a mobile and remote vehicle repair, diagnostics, and ADAS calibration capability. Our remote product and service was just released publicly in late June, and our remote device enables us to provide a customer, both a body or mechanical repair shop, a device that allows certified technicians the ability to remotely scan and or program a vehicle. Device plugs into the vehicle's OBD2 port and connects wirelessly to our Elite Technical Center. We primarily use OEM tools that allow us the ability to do most of the same functions that a dealer will do, but the vehicle never needs to leave the customer's facilities. All of that service happens quickly and easily just by a local shop technician plugging the device in and contacting us to request a scan. Things like programming a new headlight, or airbag control module, or even programming a replacement key can, in most situations, be done with the new Elite remote device. Now, there will be more times when just a scan tool is needed. When that situation arises, we have mobile technicians in 49 markets in 28 states covering multiple metro areas. These mobile technicians have the ability to do everything from performing an ADAS calibration on site, placing a dash, swapping a frame, or diagnosing why the trunk lid won't open and the license plate doesn't work. Now, here's a hint. The plugs for the remote antenna and the license plate light are the same, and the body tech may have likely just mixed them up. And the great news is we're currently testing our product in select Canadian markets. More to come on this shortly. We're pretty excited to bring it into Canada.
Ooh, that's awesome. Glad to hear that for our Canadian listeners. More to come soon, I guess. Paul, can you tell our listeners why they might want to use a service to do collision repair pre and post scans versus doing them themselves in-house?
We feel it's important to have a trained tech look over the scan report, as well as using OEM tools to ensure you don't miss any modules on the post scan. Most body shops that are doing scans in-house will readily admit they do not have anyone on staff that can interpret the results. With Elite Tech Services, we can recommend parts if an ADS calibration might be needed, as well as provide some basic repair procedures.
So what if there are codes or issues that the shop can't fix, even with repair recommendations, or say they don't have a tech skilled in that area on their staff?
That's where our mobile team comes in. Our remote team is able to communicate with the shop, and we'll ask if they need a mobile tech to come on site and perform the diagnostic operation or an ADAS calibration. If the shop needs that service, we can set that up while chatting with the remote tech.
Okay, gotcha. That all makes sense. Last two questions on this topic, though. Would it not be cheaper for a shop to have an in-house mechanic? And how do you guys build the mechanical work to the shop?
Well, as mentioned earlier, our mobile technical team does more than just pre-scans or post-scans on site. Adding to ADAS calibrations, flashing modules, or replacing a headlamp pigtail, they also do full mechanical work. Our experience is that many body shops don't have quite enough work for a skilled in-house mechanic. And if they get one that is okay with a lower volume of work, they're normally an entry-level tech. And if they get one that's an experienced tech, they may tend to not be satisfied with the amount of work coming their way and possibly end up leaving. Those shops fortunate enough to be able to find the right balance will still need our dealership on wheels services on a regular basis. When their workload is higher than normal or the job is something out of their in-house technician's ability, we are there for them.
Well, I wasn't aware of all of these fantastic elements and things that LKQ and Elite Tech Vehicle Services is offering the collision repair community. And of course, it's great to hear that the testing of that service in Canada could eventually lead to some broader market expansion.
Yes, for sure. We hope to increase our remote capability very soon, and we're looking at expanding our mobile services right here into Canada soon as well. I really appreciate you allowing me the opportunity to share that aspect of our business today. It's an important piece going forward.
And we thank you for sharing that news with us. I'm sure our listeners are just as thrilled. But on to a broader scale topic, we would be interested to hear your view and outlook for LKQ's short-term and mid-term future in the Canadian market.
Absolutely. Our executive committee has just finalized and presented a rolling 3-year strategic plan to our board of directors, as well as our 10-year vision plan. As you know, the automotive industry is changing at an accelerated pace, and we are very well positioned to stay ahead of the game. And we want to capitalize on every possible opportunity that the future will hold. We have the resources, the know-how, and the people to do so. LKQ Canada will play a very important part in the next coming years. We are continuously looking to grow by targeting high synergy tuck-in acquisitions, and we'll increase our distribution in many areas of the country. But we certainly believe that as we start pulling out of this pandemic and start seeing an increase of mobility and miles driven, that LKQ Canada will be poised to be the single best automotive solution and parts provider for our customers. We really value our strategic partnerships with the MSOs and the insurance carriers, and are committed to continue to add value and innovation to these existing relationships.
Exactly. And the pandemic has really highlighted how important these relationships are, maintaining these strong relationships and just sticking together in times of hardship. So let's close on a question about ESG, environmental social governance. It's very clearly a leading subject in 2021, and it will be important going forward. Is this important to LKQ? And can you summarize some key thoughts for us here?
Again, thanks very much. Excellent question. As I mentioned at the outset, LKQ is the leader within the automotive industry in terms of recyclability. Environmental sustainability is the foundation that LKQ was built upon. Because of LKQ's commitment to recycling 90% or more of end-of-life vehicles, millions of gallons of fuel and oil and other caustic or hazardous materials are saved from contaminating lands and groundwater. LKQ takes an end-of-life vehicle and, before all else, responsibly drains all fluids. We take the millions of gallons of fuel and oil and even the windshield washer fluid and solvent to power our own vehicle fleets across North America. LKQ takes care to remove salvageable parts that can be sold to our customers and other recyclable materials like precious metals and plastics and other materials, so they can be sold via commodities or for other recycling efforts. For example, tires that otherwise would clog landfills can be pelletized and are repurposed for road construction, playgrounds, and sports tracks and things of that nature. Today, we are the largest recycler of vehicles in the world. New this year, LKQ launched our LKQ Canada Foundation that will be giving back to our communities and providing scholarships to upcoming young talent in different trade schools. LKQ is also supplying used auto parts for a young and innovative entrepreneur through her company called Bagnall in Montreal. She utilizes the LKQ donated end-of-life vehicle parts to create unique handbags.
So LKQ has a little bit of a role in fashion too. It's pretty funny how things connect like that. So to wind things up, thank you so much, Paul, for speaking with us today. It was very insightful to hear about what LKQ's got on the horizon for us and what you've been working on in the pandemic. Is there anything else that you'd like to let our readers know before we close off the session today?
Allison, thanks again. And thanks to all the listeners and all the people that have taken the time to stay with us today. In closing, today we've spoken a great deal about LKQ's business and how we've grown over the past 20 plus years. When I think about our growth as a company, development, investment in our people, and what really drives us, it's all about doing what we can do to make our industry better. Better quality alternative parts, customer-focused service levels, and a more sustainable future for our industry and the globe in general.
Well, yeah, thank you so much, Paul. We appreciate you being here and sharing all of your insight with us on LKQ, the past, present, and future of the company. We're excited to see where things go, and especially for that remote diagnostics feature to be available in Canada. Can't wait to learn more about that. And for all our listeners tuning in, be sure to subscribe to our podcast wherever you listen to your podcasts: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, wherever you listen, we're available. Thanks. We'll see you next time.